Um, this is not going to be long. A lot of what Chantel put out over the weekend was just kind of looping nonsense of I love Syria. It's such a great place to travel to. So wonderful. I can see the bombs from the places where I'm partying. It's so great, you guys. The kids, they think it's like an action movie, right? But she went so far today, you guys. And I don't know if YouTube is going to put up with this. I can't cover it. There's a lot of channels that simply can't cover it because it is that disgusting and repulsive and sad. She did a live with a 9-year-old Syrian girl who has Down syndrome and was begging for PayPal donations. That she will provide all the receipts because we know that she's done this in the past. She has scammed her fans in the past. I'm going to get this apartment in Canada and I need some startup stuff. So I'm going to set up a wish list where you can donate directly to my PayPal. You can give me a super chat. She did all that. Hey there. Knowing that she was going to put out an announcement just a couple days later that she was going back to Kuwait, right? I've been reacting, I guess, probably since it wasn't always on YouTube. So I have a somebody in the chat right now who I don't know how to pronounce the screen name, asking me how long I've been doing reacts. Well, my first live stream, I think, was in 2018. But this was all done on Facebook. I started out on Facebook. And so the first few years that I was doing anything, I did it all on Facebook. And they're basically, that platform's going back and deleting everything. Yeah, it's been a little while. It was mostly political stuff in the beginning because I was a big Bernie supporter. I was a Bernie victory captain. I was walking blocks, I was knocking on doors. That's why I'm disabled today. It's because I was knocking on doors. I got bit by a bulldog. I suffered blunt force trauma, and it has had really severe impacts to my body and my health. But anyway, I didn't start turning my focus until I realized there's no way I can really participate in that anymore. It's not like I can show up to events. Even trying to, I went to like this kickoff sort of event for several candidates that were going to be on the Laguna Niguel ticket. And I limped my way over to that event. And the first thing that the chair of the party said to me That's awesome. You have a friend who worked for the Democratic in Minneapolis doing the same thing. I do not work for the Democratic Party, but I was for a while working for a labor union to get measures on the ballot that favored workers' rights. And after this happened, I hobbled my way over to an event, and the first thing the chair said to me was, "Are you sure you should be doing anything?" Right? And she happens to also be one of the co presidents of the union that set up the PAC that employed me. So I realized that there was a bit of danger, a bit of politics involved in me just showing up to shit. That they were going to be like, well, clearly you can hobble over here with a cane and shit. You know what I mean? So I stopped going to everything. And for a while there, I started getting into karaoke because I'm only going to stand for like 2.5 to 5 minutes tops, depending on the length of the song. And bar culture is not great, especially. I know I don't look my best right now, but slap some makeup on me and some hair dye, which I just decided to give up on, and I still looked pretty good, right? Um, when there are a lot of testosterone infused predators in a bar, they can sense weakness, right? So I was getting harassed a lot towards the end of me deciding, fuck this shit. I'm not even going to go out and do this anymore. But I was going to karaoke bars and trying to do stuff. Like, for instance, one of the bars I went to, they decided that they were going to rope off the handicap space because of COVID. I'm like, how does this even relate to COVID? Everybody's inside. You clearly don't have any boundaries around how close unmasked people are to each other. Most of us have been inoculated at this point. So why the fuck have you roped off the handicap section? So I had an issue with that. I had an issue with three different dudes at another bar, and their bouncers were completely useless to helping me. One guy, I was in the handicap spot, and there is a section next to the door, your driver's side door, that says no parking, and it's blocked off. It gives you a little extra space to like get a wheelchair out or a walker or whatever, whatever it is that you need to get out. And this guy pulled up and parked his motorcycle right next to my vehicle in that space. And he said he was allowed to do it because he was also disabled and a vet. And I needed to respect him because he was a vet. You have to be careful with scammers. The last one, he was claiming that he had such a severe knee injury, something going on with his knee, that he needed a cane to walk. He was on permanent disability with the VA, but he was out there doing high quality pirouettes on the dance floor, you guys. And I was like, are you for real? Like, here I am struggling, and you're out there doing pirouettes. And he said, part of my physical therapy. Really? Because I've been to a lot of physical therapy and none of them included advanced ballet. None of them. And I used to be a toe dancer, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? Like, I used to be a toe dancer back in the day. Like, are you for fucking real? Give me a break. That guy wanted to do musical theater, but at the same time, he wanted his disability benefits. Holy shit. But anyway, the point being, I can't cover child exploitation. I can't do it. I'm not telling my audience this um, to report her because that's against YouTube terms of service. So I would never suggest that you report her for what she's done. But what she did was take a 9-year-old Syrian girl with Down syndrome and ask for PayPal donations that will go directly into her account and says that she will give us receipts. You don't think she's pocketing the money for herself? I believe she'll. Well, that's not her history. Her history is such that she has um, told us that she's getting money for one thing and spent it on something else. Like, for instance, when she first started collecting donations for cat food to feed the wild cats, changed when? When did she change? As soon as she got enough donations in PayPal, she went to Burger King or something. Fucking stuffed her fat fucking face. I don't know why you would think she's changed. The only thing that's changed about her is that she realizes she is too fucking fat and ugly to make money on OF. Okay, that's the only thing. So she's looking into every other dirty way she can do it. And I'm fairly certain that Yo Mama's days are numbered on the locale universe because he's not just coming after Nightmare, which he has been since the first day he got paired up with him. He has repeatedly disrespected Keemstar and is going after other personalities within the network. Now, I'm a React channel. So when I give you a highly critical video about Billy the Fridge being insecure and taking it out on everybody around him because he doesn't have the game that he says he has, I'm not in their Discord. There is no way to come after me other than they could potentially strike my channel, but why bother? Like, I don't get enough views for that. For sure, Yo Mama is drying up. He's disrespectful to reactors who he copies also. Yeah. Keemstar is also falling off. I don't know what's going to happen with that guy because the entire scheme he pulled last week with Becky Boop, if it's real, because we never know with him and his network what is real and what is scripted drama, right? Like, you can't tell the difference. That's one of the reasons he takes advantage of his fan base because When you see people donating crazy amounts of money to that network, you have to wonder what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? This is free content on YouTube. Why would you bother unless you actually want to join their Discord and get abused firsthand by their network? Because that's what will happen, right? So, point being is if that was a real thing where he actually organized something to come after Becky Boop and she was really shocked and it really was her downfall, it crumbled her network, etc., etc. That's one of the most goonerific things I've ever seen an ex-employer do. Could you even fucking imagine one of your ex-employers coming after you like that? And by the way, his business model is not unique. The idea of redirecting to another show, not unique. The idea of doing shock content, not unique. The idea of being an internet beggar, not unique. So, where is the uniqueness of what he's done? What, honestly, as somebody who spent several years working for an IT staffing company on the proposal writing side, so I had to get a lot of content out of our HR department. We had to be on the fucking ball. And we generally followed California law because California law was like the strictest in the country. His style of content was popular back then, but not anymore, and his young fan base grew up. That's possible. Like, I'd never heard of him until December. The only reason I heard of him was because he was going to have Foodie Beauty on the show. And the only reason I heard of Foodie Beauty is because I had been watching Oh Lordy, It's Jordy for the Eugenia Cooney content. Funny how that all works, right? Like, suggested. Suggested in your feeds, right? You know what's coming up in my feeds now? Let me try and pronounce your name. Appier? Appier? Um, I'm getting a lot of like unclogging drains, building log cabins and sheep buildings, and um, landscaping, coming in and like clearing like overgrown properties and shit. Like that's what I'm getting. Pure, okay. That's a little easier to say. Thank you. What was Foodie Beauty's arc when you discovered her? It was right around the time that she was going to doctors in Kuwait and being diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And the React channels were like, girl, you literally were diagnosed with this years ago, right? Like, this is, you already knew you had this. And you said that it just magically went away. Which kind of brings me back to the low-cal network, where you've got Xylee, who is a type 2 diabetic. And let me tell you 3 disturbing things about Xylee that don't really include her personality at all, which we could go all night on her personality. But one is that she says she's a type 2 diabetic who ranges around 8 normally. She feels very confident in that. That is still a very high number that you should go to the ER with if you have it. Um, she's been binge drinking. Drinking is high sugar, okay? And more recently, she has been talking about eating fast food or takeout every single day. Oh, let me give you number four. Also, when this thick Gemini stuff came up, or no, it was when they introduced the Chubby channel, and they used like an AI thing to make everybody chubby. Um, she said, "Hey, I look better than I used to, or whatever." So she's got it in her head that she is going to gain weight, right? Drinking is not good for diabetes. You're right, Pierre. You found her as soon as she went to Kuwait in November. You know what? I'll be real with you, Pierre. I wouldn't have flipped on that channel at all had I not had Jordy in my ear, basically, like, because I watched his channel. Um, there is no way I would have watched her channel because I've already been following politics for years and years and years. And the idea of somebody becoming a Muslim and then moving to the Middle East, there's a lot of fears that are you joining some sort of human trafficking situation? Like, why did you make this decision? And I'm finding they need healthy friends. Yeah. Honestly, me either. I had FFG to watch it through. I stopped watching FFG though. I realized she was very angry. I wouldn't be upset with her for being angry, Pierre, when you've got Charlie Gold and the YouTube Underground coming after her with petty bullshit and anti Semitic attacks on the daily for several months because they can't get what she gets in her views. They're jealous bitches. And it's like, come on, girls, just move on with your content. I've had to take them both out of even suggested content because they've gotten so ugly. Yeah, the YouTube underground is the worst. They are. They're pretty ugly people. And the fact that Yaba kept lying about meeting Chantel's mother, having coffee with her, and doing Christmas cards with her. What was the whole point of that fucking story arc? Why did she lie about that? I don't understand. But anyway, this was just going to be a quick update, Pierre, to explain why it's been difficult for me to come up with content this weekend. It's not that I haven't seen Bali, so I don't know anything about that. Um, I just, I'm not comfortable covering the shit I saw. There's, even I have my limits, you guys. Even I have my limits. Okay, but I will leave you with Just a smidge of Olivia Newton-John. Come take my hand. You should know me. I've always been in your mind. You know I will be kind. I'll be guiding you. All right, with that, I'm going to wrap it up here because holy fuck. I'll do something tomorrow. I will find something to react to tomorrow. But like, what am I gonna cover? Am I gonna cover Yo-Yo Ma trying, or Yo-Yo Ma? That's the cellist, you guys. Yo Mama trying to get Nightmare fired. Am I gonna cover that? Am I gonna cover Billy and Xylee spurging out because um, they're so insecure that they have to take it out on all of their peers by being bullies? Really? I'm scared of my position in the world, so therefore you are lower. You are lower. Get a fucking grip, children. Sally's turning 50 this year, you guys. She has no fucking excuse for being this dumb. Anyway, y'all take care.